I don't know what's going on here. So, I don't know those of you who remember KeKe Jones. It ain't been that long. But to refresh, it's the chick that was on line and she was crying drunk in her wedding gown because her husband had cheated on her or something like that. But she's a hot cornbread fed mess. And she been filled with nothing but drama since then. But anybody online crying and screaming and singing in their wedding dress because they found their husband cheating for the 30th billion time is gonna be that. I tracked her story a little bit, did a little video about her, followed her on Facebook. I'm hardly ever on Facebook, but it's my business page either way it goes. So following someone on Facebook don't mean what you think it means. And this girl is, I don't know, she another Krishan. Crazy. And it seemed like that's what everybody like. Light skin and crazy. Don't nothing else matter. Light skin, that's a winner all day. And I don't have nothing. I'm not Clarissa. But I'm just noticing. If Krishan Rock was dark skinned, she'd be under the jail right now. She wouldn't have that baby. This girl KeKe, I keep saying she thick. Okay. Again, if she was dark skinned, she'd have been dogged out. She'd have been off the internet. She got ran off the internet. If you haven't seen it, you're about to, so you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And she'll crash out. She stayed trying to put her husband in jail. She claimed he doing all these crazy things to her. I have yet to see proof. And I'm talking about she accusing him of, you know, the craziest. Always trying to put him in jail. She just on that Krishan Rocks type stuff. And nobody, she doesn't provide proof, so badly so that the internet was just accusing her of still being with her husband and it all being fake. She pretended she had custody of her daughter. I mean, she just, you gotta look out for yourself, because I'm not even here to get into all that background and stuff, because I don't want to sound like I'm just overly bashing her, when the point in me doing the video is because she posted that she was going on Pop the Balloon. They called her, I think at the end of the year, and she went. It was last minute too. I was like, dang, she just taking any opportunity to come her way. That's what it looked like from seeing her on Facebook, and she's getting a ton of them. It's like you gotta crash out online. This world, this society is really, really something. It's really something. I mean, I'm flabbergasted at the whole thing. If I'm crashing out online, it's probably gonna be my last day on earth, and that's why I'm crashing out. Like, I'm going out like that. You know what I mean? Other than that, I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with the way I was raised. I come on here and, you know, go into character a bit, talk some junk, pass some judgment. You know, that's bad enough. It really is. You know, and it's, I don't know, I'm not from the era of the internet, so I think that has something to do with it too. because we didn't grow up with all this. So we come from the era of what goes on in your business is your business. And you keep that to yourself. What goes on in your house, that's house business. You know, don't put yourself out there like that, etc., etc. And most people want to bask in your pain anyway. I had someone that I've known for a short amount of time, quite older than me, about 4 or 5 years older than me. I know I'm saying quite, but when you're like 54, 55, that's quite older than me, in my opinion. Because this guy, I feel, he's old enough to just have more wisdom than a lot of things he would say and do. And the guy said when he helps someone, he does it for himself, not for the other person. And I said, I disagree. I believe that you're supposed to help someone because that's what we're here to do. I know this world is really something. And I know people can be really, really something. The economy, the government, everything has turned people away. You know, and I don't mean like looking away. I mean just a ways. You know, a certain kind of way. But I firmly believe, and it could be due to a number of things, but that's just where I stand. It probably has something to do with me being a woman, me being the caretaker type, and have done that my entire life. I have sacrificed my life to take care of others. But I believe that we are here to serve. It's about us, but it's not about us. You're supposed to provide help. And to me, that's very logical thinking. Just look around. Look at the world. It's getting worse and worse because people are more for self and they're more selfish. And they enter into something only thinking what they can get out of it. Because you're here, every experience, every encounter is for you, but it's also for the other person. You're supposed to gather what's there for you. Get assistance from your creator to properly analyze that and use it. Every encounter is a gift. It's something for you to learn and elevate with. For people to have the mentality and the approach that when they meet people, it's about what you can get. I don't know. It could be a male Atlanta or Georgia thing. I typically say Atlanta, but I do mean Georgia. Because he's not the first male that I've met that in a conversation, and I'm talking about first, second conversation, they ask you, what's your credit score? Bitch, what? Hey, pardon me. It's a little too soon for all that. But I feel that strongly about it, like the audacity. First of all, you have no idea why we're even talking at this point. What's your motive for asking me my credit score? And then this particular dude I'm talking about, I asked him, I said, why the heck would you ask me something like that? And I asked him a lot nicer. Because I didn't want him to nut up. I wanted him to actually give me an answer, something that I could process. And he said, he said, I'm going to tell you all what he said. He said he decided at some point in his life that every female he meet, he got to get something out the deal. It's got to be something in it for him. And he said, that's one of the first things I ask is, what's your credit score? I said, but Is it because yours is bad? And he said, yeah. So you will want to use another's credit score? You want to use my credit score? You just met me? We're just having a conversation. Something tickled me in my throat. And you want to ask me what my credit score is? Excuse me, y'all. That ain't God, it's Satan. What is it that you think that you're going to be able to do with me? Oh, smoked out. Let me crack a window or something. Hold on. Okay, thank you. What is it you think you're going to be doing with me that would require usage of any type of credit? You know, just weird. Weird. The whole mentality of it. People are just weird, and we're losing out. We're losing out. And we're going to continue to lose as long as we get deeper into that path, because it seems like over time people are getting deeper and deeper into this type of mindset. What can I get out the deal? I got to get something out the deal. And if I don't see it's enough benefit for me, I'm not interested. To me, that's a dangerous mindset. I can be kind to any and everyone. Now, if I feel like your energy, you know, where you coming from, like how you bringing it, I feel like that's something that's going to be a hindrance to my existence, to my world, to my sanity, my safety, my happiness, then I'm going to keep it moving. But outside of that, the encounter is happening for a reason. I think it is very presumptuous and very egotistical, very fast forward of us to sit up here and see someone and you formulate your own opinion as to why you want to have an encounter with that person, or why you feel like you're even interested to even be contemplating having an encounter, to even be looking at them, why you have some type of pull or attraction to them, because we don't know. That takes an encounter. It takes conversation, sometimes more than one. When your mind is set up on what you think you're trying to go for, you're going to steer yourself wrong 99.9% of the time, in my opinion. It helps, I think, for me a lot because I'm, for the most part, asexual. I'm really not attracted. I'm not attracted to people in that way. I don't see people in that way. I'm not going to look at you and think I want to be with you in a sexual way. I'm not going to look at you and find you sexy. I'm not going to look at you and desire you in that way. I don't operate like that. So everybody's even. It's neutral. But I think that when it's male and female, typically, I'm speaking from my female experience, the males think that if you're to have a pleasant encounter, it must be so that they can get what they want out of it. And we know that's typically sex of some sort and whatever the heck else they got going on in their head. They're trying to assess you to see what else they can pull. Hence, the credit score question. Now, if we're dating, getting to know each other, those are questions that will come along because, you know, you got to know what you potentially maybe getting yourself into. But as initial conversation with someone you don't even know, I think it's very immature and underdeveloped of a guy to think that because I'm friendly and we're having a conversation, and I'm not talking about nothing deep, I'm talking about initial conversations even, then this is supposed to be some kind of thing. Like, I'm interested in you like that. And so you just gonna step and say, okay, so I want to use this chick any way I can. And what I need is somebody with good credit. So I'm gonna ask her, what's her credit score? Hmm. I just to me that is very odd, off, and dangerous. And people should focus on getting back on the path that you should be on. Because I don't think people even really care what that is anymore. And I think that with this chick, it's a lot of that going on. She grabbing and reaching at every just about opportunity that comes her way. She getting all this attention. She loving it. She just putting herself out there, parading around all kinds of ways. And at the same time, sharing all her intimate issues with her ex while they're going through alleged separation leading towards alleged divorce. Trying to throw him out there with all these accusations and want him to be arrested. He got to be the bad guy. She the good guy. She the victim. Um, he cheated, so I'm hot and I'm sexy. But you know, it kind of reminds me of Derek Jackson's wife. Knew all along that the guy was a serial cheater, but would present it to the public as if it happened. I found out, I'm scarred. Same situation. This chick knew before they married, because he was married. He was with another woman, and that's how she started dealing with him. She said he had 13 affairs while they were married. I'm confused about why the public is acting so slow. Because riddle me this, Miss KeKe. If that's the case, how are you on social media crashing out in your wedding dress, being very performative? I found out he was cheating. And then doing little snaky stuff like posting text messages between him and her friend who was her bridesmaid. First saying that they had an affair. And people like, nah, we don't believe you. Posting pictures of her. She was my bridesmaid. And people like, nah, she ain't do you like that. Now you really capping. And she posts text messages between the two. Now, the text messages seemed to be inappropriate. And it seems like he erased some of his responses. I don't know how she got all her hands. I ain't into it like that. On the text messages. That's a good question. How did she get her? I don't know. I don't know, because that's not even my type of get down. I don't want to see your messages, and I don't need to see your messages. But it was suggestive at best. There was no definitive proof the way she was carrying on about it. Were they a little too chummy? Absolutely. Could there have been something going on? It sounds like, and I think most of the people I think we're pretty much agreeing on it. It sounded like they were on their way up to it, testing the waters, testing each other's temperature to plot on it. Now, one person came in my chat, so either YouTube is not sharing it Or this live isn't public. And I made it public, so how is it not public? It's not. Okay. So I'm